I tell you, despite the weather, the big bass are biting. Make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna go live here real shortly. Stay tuned to this page, guys. The bass are going. Right there at the boat. Man, it followed me all the way up. Nice smallmouth.
Oh, what a fish! Yes, I love it. Smallmouth.
I mean, you can tell when they follow it, and a lot of times, especially in this cold, he just smoked that old rainbow trout jerkbait. But in this cold, these fish will literally follow it because they're just not quite going. They're like, man, I want it, but I don't want it. And all of a sudden, you get that angle change towards the boat, and that fish was all about it with the angle change. Again, a lot of times you think about that. The slightest things, angle changes, longer pauses, short pauses, they get it done. Get him back or get another one. There he goes.
Yep.
Oh, on that pause, coming at me.
Little largy.
Little largemouth. Man, that fish set on the pause. I was just going to move it again and started pulling away from me. Just those subtle things. But I had a longer pause that time. What's he eating there? Leeches? Bugs? Again, it's all about that jerkbait. That time I probably added maybe a 3-second pause. That little largemouth couldn't handle it. Get him back. That one hit it actually, instead of on the pause, it hit it as I started to move the bait. So I just came out of the pause. I was just tightening up, getting ready to do my snaps. That fish hit it pretty hard. Good tugs out of that.
Largy.
Again, as I move the bait, so all these fish will take it differently. You know, that last one hit it on a long pause. That one hit the bait moving coming out of the pause. So, again, we talk about this stuff, and everybody's like, why does that matter? Everything matters. Everything builds a pattern at some point. So, literally, every fish I catch, I just ask myself, why did that fish take the bait? If you ask yourself the question of why did every fish take the bait, at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a more long-lasting pattern than you would without asking that. So again, every fish has a purpose and a point.
Back she goes.
Getting a little bit more aggressive now. Oh, about as much as I can lift up on. That one, same thing, coming out of the pause, which is fun. It's exciting. You have a little bit more tension on the line, a little bit more pressure, and they're flat out hitting it. Another one right there. I'll tell you what, old Bass Pro jerkbait rainbow trout pattern right there is getting it done on those largemouth. Line went total slack, so I was on the pause that time, and what I got here. So I was on a total on the pause on the slack line, and that smallmouth came up and pushed that bait 100% at me, which is crazy. But again, it's talking about that line control. Today I'm running fluorocarbon just to get a different kind of angle on the bait, which we'll talk about. But with that being said, that stiff line, all of a sudden I felt it go 100% slack, and that fish was literally grabbed the bait and pushed it at me, which is fairly common. You got to be ready for everything. And literally in the last 200 feet of this wall, I've had a lot of different bites. I've had it on the 100% on the pause, a couple fish. Had a couple fish literally as I was coming out of the pause, and that fish grabbed it and ran at me. So you never know what you're gonna get there. I'll tell you, I don't know how they miss it. I mean, a jerkbait, 3 hooks, just razor blade sharp hooks. That fish bumped it. You know, who knows if he missed it, tapped it with his tail, but he came back, got it that second time. All twisted up. You can tell he hit it with that first hook right there, and then turned and ran. And I stuck him, but that fish literally hit the bait twice. Again, it shocks me how they miss it. They have some pliers. Missed it the first time, but I got him the second time. Tell you what, it's a nice mix this morning of smallmouth and largemouth. I'll tell you, the jerkbait is key. Getting that bait right in the zone, holding it still. You hold it still. Make it easy on the fish, you catch the fish. Simple math. I'll tell you what, we messed with that one with the camera, but literally, this largemouth right here, it's a good fish. And this largemouth hit that jerkbait 3 times. That tank right there literally smoked that bait 3 times. And I'm coming out of some water still right there. So we got a little warm water inlet, and that little warm water inlet pulls these fish here because it pulls so much food. It's all about the food. The rainbows are up there, the bait fish are up there, and anytime you get bait, you get these bigger fish. But with that happening, so you can see that water there, I'll show you in a second. With that distilled water right there, it moves that jerkbait. So that jerkbait's moving all over the place, and that big old largemouth right there literally hit his bait 3 times. Missed him the first time, 3rd time's a charm. That is what we're here for. Big bass. I'll tell you what, a lot of guys avoid this weather. They avoid the high pressure. But the fish don't realize it. They're feeding heavy, take advantage. I'll tell you, this is a perfect example. I got a little line right there. You can see, I mean, I got shallow water. Literally, the herons are standing in that super shallow water. You can see the gray line dropping off to this deep water. I put my cast right on that edge. And despite the snow, despite the cold, these big largemouth are absolutely going strong. And I mean, that right there is what it's about. Again, I think it's a good lesson to be talking about. Is everybody tries to get in their head what the fish should be doing, and it's a good thing to try to build those patterns, but in reality, the fish are going to be where they're at. They want to be shallow. You know, Matt here holding the camera has just talked about that. They want to be shallow. Spring's here, the food's shallow, the water's rising, the fish want to be shallow. And again, despite this, we get in our heads, man, it's snowing, it's cold, they're going to be deep, man, it's snowing and cold, and they're not going to be biting. But again, it takes a long time for this, you know, above the water temperatures and snow to actually get down to where these fish are at. Barometric pressure is one thing, but the cold is not getting to these fish. And I'll tell you what, they are going strong. Let's get this guy back. And I got to get back in there for another cast. They are chomping. Get that big old largemouth back.